Привет, everybody! Today's video will be different from others on my channel. It will be about Ukrainians who already began to rebuild our country. I'll introduce you to volunteers from Brave to Rebuild organization. I'll show you what they are rebuilding, what the work is, and also why they are doing it. There will be a lot of rocks, dust, brave people and amazing stories. So let's go. No, wait, quick question. What age do you think I met most of Ukrainian volunteers that day? Write your answer in the comments. Later I will tell you why I asked about this. Now we definitely started. Every evening volunteers are assigned to locations in two cities, Irpin and Bucha. The Russian army left them in April, and then photos of how they destroyed the cities flew around the world. It was probably one of the most traumatic news in my life. So I signed up to volunteer as a video maker and was assigned to a facility in Irpin. For the few seconds when I arrived at the place, I was in shock. The first thing I saw was a house destroyed by an airstrike. Airstrike. I have seen the destroyed house in Kiev, but the consequences of such brutal target attack on civilians? Not yet. Then I turned and saw the house where we were supposed to work. The fiercest battle took place in this residential complex. It was like a shield through which Russian army tried to get to the city. Traces of bullets and debris is everywhere. More than 60% of apartments here were either completely destroyed or partially damaged. So I want to show you how the house was and has become. The residents of the house began to organize themselves, and then volunteers joined them. When volunteers arrived at the facility, they received a relevant task. Mrs. Victoria, a resident of the house, voices today news. The volunteers have to remove everything that can collapse or interfere with the roof covering. It is fragments of tiles, cracked soil, bricks, shaky walls, stones, irons, etc. What's important, residents of the house do it for a reason. The examination showed that the house could be restored. It's such a great news. But for this to happen, the roof must be waterproofed. And now residents do all this at their own expense, because the state still needs to establish a quick process for reimbursement of funds for repairing damaged building. And people have to wait for the money. But in this case, there is no time to wait, because the house may not survive the winter. If you has ever had a deal with a roof replacement, you know how expensive it can be. This is very, very expensive. So if you are ready to help Ukrainians save their home, I'll leave the details for donation in the description box. You can donate even $1 and it will help. I want to say a big, huge thank you for every cent that you donate. Thank you. Bardzo dziękuję. Danke schön. Arigato. Grazie. Gracias. Thank you well. Paldies. Shukriya. Merci. Thank you. Let's go back in time and remember what age you mostly imagined volunteers to be. And now my observations. 60% of volunteers was students or school children. 30% was people aged 25-35. And 10% was 35 plus. So tell me, did it match your expectations? With mine?
Absolutely no.
When I went to volunteer, I was sure that there would be people my age and maybe a little bit older. And already at the gathering place, I realized that I was wrong. So I was completely surprised by how many volunteers younger than me gathered there. Then I asked my mom and 3 friends how they imagined volunteers. And everyone, literally everyone, said about people his or her age. This is an interesting phenomenon for me. I don't really understand how it works. Maybe if you are a psychologist and know or maybe guess how it works, please tell me in the comments. And I want to clarify that age doesn't make a volunteer worse or better. It's important to say, most of the volunteers are gorgeous. And I really respect them. Next, we will talk to some of them, and I think you will be delighted with them too.
And before that, please click like under this video and a little bit personal. If you want to support my channel, I'll leave the link to my Patreon in the description. Rather than describe the beauty of volunteers, let me introduce you.
So I asked people why they volunteer in this way.
В мене є магічне пояснення. Я в березні місяці, ховаючись вдома в коридорі з дитиною і чоловіком, щоночі домовлялась з небом, всесвітом, ким завгодно, що якщо ми цю ніч переживемо, то і там був такий довжелезний список, і один з них, що я буду точно відновлювати, я все піду, я міст відбудую в Ірпені, тільки аби все сталося. То ми живі, здорові, в нас все добре, і я вирішила, що пора.
Ця біда сталася на нашій країні. І я розумію, що ця біда може прийти до мене додому. І такі небайдужі люди, як ці зараз тут, вони можуть допомогти і мені. Більше я можу зробити тоді, коли прийде момент, може бути таке, що заберуть мене і в армію, заберуть і на передову, як то кажуть. Це все питання часу. Ось, я допомагаю, причому мені на душі добре, спокійно, чи можу, як кажуть, і можу допомогти.
Тому що це все ж таки моя країна, і це моє майбутнє. І будувати його теж мені. І якщо я почну хоча б з такого, я бачу, що тут потрібна моя допомога. Просто не хочеться, щоб інші діти це бачили. І, в принципі, ніхто. Це можна побачити і зрозуміти, що сталося, і все ж таки повчитися на цьому досвіді. Але просто не хочеться, щоб діти думали і знали, що от наші сусіди такі класні люди.
Перше, це не потрібно чекати, поки ми переможемо, щоб почати відбудовувати країну і розбирати завали, і починати щось робити. По-друге, в мене дуже багато близьких людей, які зараз воюють. І в знак якоїсь солідарності, що вони там воюють, що вони там ризикують своїм життям. Це досить молоді хлопці, дуже мені близькі, і не хочеться просто тут сидіти і нічого не робити, поки вони там в страшенних часами умовах, але і ти розумієш, що треба щось десь якось, хоча б трошки, хоча б локально щось робити.
Бо я це можу робити. В будні працюю головою, на вихідних фізично. Все.
Треба щось робити, треба якось допомагати, тому що, наприклад, я пам'ятаю, спілкувалася з татом, він каже, та вже в Ірпені, напевно, все порозбирали, чого ви туди їздите. А тут ми бачимо, особливо зараз з 5-го поверху, скільки ще роботи, просто не почати край.
Я розумію, що ти маєш щось робити. Як би нас не вбивали, ми все одно робимо для того, щоб життя продовжувалося.
Okay, and another story the girl in the bus told me at the stop. She told me that she had just arrived from the train. I was like, from the train? Huh? I asked her where she came from, and she told me that she came from the westernmost part of Ukraine. She was on the road for 16 hours. Imagine. She arrived, worked about 8 hours as a volunteer and quickly jumped on the train so she wouldn't miss her work on Monday. I was in shock. And I want to say the last thing. I am so happy to live with these beautiful, gorgeous people on the same planet. I'm so happy to know these stories and to be able to share them. I'm glad for every feeling that reminds me that I'm Ukrainian. I'm alive and I'm not alone.
Чим більше нас чимось лякає, тим ми стаємо сильнішими, тим терпимішими, да? І як не дивно, більш добрішими.
If you like this video, please subscribe to my channel. There will be much more about Ukraine and Ukrainians. So see you in next video. До побачення, everybody. Слава Україні!